Alright, so let's get started. Today we will be using crayons, and I'm sure most of you have used crayons before, but did you know that there's actually two different ways to use crayons? The first way to use crayons is something called weak and wimpy coloring. So when you are coloring weak and wimpy, you're just kind of filling something in, you're not really paying attention to if you're going in the lines, and then at the end of the day, it's not very bright, it's not very colorful, it's weak, it is wimpy, it is weak and wimpy coloring, and we don't want that. We really don't want that. We don't want to see that. So what we need is thick and thirsty coloring. That means we are filling something in all the way, we are taking our time, we are making it look nice and bright and beautiful, we are taking our time, going slow, filling it in the best we can. Now, a lot of people think that when you are coloring thick and thirsty, it means that you need to push down on the crayon as hard as you can. Now, I don't want you to hurt yourself, so you need to make sure that you're just taking your time. I don't want you breaking the crayons. I don't want you breaking your wrist, right? We just need to take our time and fill it in all the way. The first part that I am focusing on is the letters of my name. Right now, I'm working on the M. It's going pretty well. After I finish my first letter, I'm going to want to switch to a new color and move on to the next letter. I'm just doing the letters right now, not focusing on the background, trying to make everything thick and thirsty, filled in all the way, and switching to a new color when I get to a new letter. Let's speed up the video so that I can get this done and you can see what it looks like when I'm done with all my letters. Alright, now that I have my letters filled in, they're thick and thirsty, they're nice and bright. I was trying to just switch colors every time. Now that I've finished with that, I can go ahead and move on to the background. And if you notice, I have these lines going all over my background. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick one space in here, and I'm going to color this part in. So I'm picking a space, just one, and filling it in. I'm trying not to go past that black line because that is going to be a different color. So I'm still filling it in thick and thirsty, coloring it in all the way. So I just filled in that space right there, and then I'll move on to the next space. I can switch to a new color and fill that part in as well. Thick and thirsty, I'm not going over to the next section. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and fill in all the other little spaces that I made. So what you do is you just keep jumping along. So once you finish one, go to the next one, and you just keep moving around till all the little sections are filled in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and show you what it looks like when it's done. Alright guys, here is my finished name tag. Notice I filled in all of my background spaces. I filled them in thick and thirsty so that they're nice and bright. I even made sure that I colored all the way up to the edge. I was really careful about not getting it on my table, and I just colored right on up to the edge. There was one thing that I noticed when I was coloring with this light green color right here, and that is that it's pretty much empty. I couldn't really get a whole lot of color out of it when I was coloring with this light green. So I need to teach you how to sharpen a crayon. And I don't mean with a pencil sharpener. This is a crayon. You don't put them in pencil sharpeners. So how to sharpen a crayon is this. On the wrapper around the crayon, there's part of it that lifts up a little bit. Now, if you unwrap the whole thing, you have no more wrapper, and then you'll get wax all over your hands. So you don't really want to unwrap the whole crayon. You just want to take a little bit, peel up a corner, and just rip off a little bit like this. That way, you have more crayon to use, and you still have the paper so you don't get wax all over your hands as well. Now, a lot of times what my kindergarten friends like to do is they peel all the paper off, and we don't want that. We don't want to have wax all over our hands. So, 1, just peel off a little bit. 2, a lot of people don't know where this part goes. The piece of the wrapper that we ripped off. Some people think it goes back in with our crayons. It doesn't belong in there. It's not a crayon. It's part of a wrapper. This belongs in the trash. Make sure it finds its way in the trash. Okay, so if you don't know where the trash is, ask me, I'll help you out. All right, and that's pretty much it. One more thing is, this paper, like all your other papers that you will be getting in art class, goes home with you at the end of the year. I will keep them safe, and I will keep them with your name tag, and everything will be returned to you at the end of the year. If you do not get this project done today, that is okay. Every time that we finish up for the day, you might not get done, and that's fine. Sometimes I don't get done with my projects too. It's okay. You might not be able to finish, and that's okay. And that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and get started.